Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. We'll get started very soon here. Just maybe we'll start. So hope everyone had a good weekend and looking forward to this week. And I see a lot of dollar pairs looking great. I'll go over a few other currency pairs that I think it's shaping up pretty good. So, but let's wait another 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then go from there. All right. So. Yeah, anyone online, thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Oh, Rolando, yeah, nice to see you. Good, good, good. All right, so we'll get started and hopefully other people will join us. But I'll start with just a couple commodities that I will be looking out for, etc. I think gold is very interesting. Gold is at an area where I would be more interesting again. If you guys recall previously, I was looking at the structure like this, was looking for continuation from here. That did not happen, but instead we kind of just keep dribbling down. And this is kind of the important part of this price action structure. I've been talking about this higher time frame kind of flag channel structure for quite some time now. And originally I was looking at this as a potential double bottom and price was going to drop down. But we're at this bottom now, right? This bottom of the structure, and potentially this is a reversal area that we could expect because, again, structure we need at least two swing highs and two swing lows. We have that, and it's all about how the price get to this bottom of this structure here. You can see that we're not getting down there impulsively. We're getting down there correctively in this kind of, I would say, a descending channel or a falling wedge, so to speak. But very clear kind of a correction, and it's not a continuation to go down. Instead, it's looking more and more as a reversal. So zooming out on the higher time frame, zooming on what's going on here at the overall higher time frame, we talk about our bias should always match higher time frame with lower time frame. And to me, the higher time frame has just been in a bullish move thus far. And this bigger action to correct all this big bullish move up, and we're breaking above this previous all-time top, and we're just forming a deeper correction that may continue forward. So that is always my bias on the higher time frame and lower time frame. Like I said, um, when we have same kind of confluence, the higher time frame is bullish. I want to go to a lower time frame, look for possible entries for confirmation, and this is looking exactly like it. So my approach on it is to wait for correction to finish if it's going to. Let's wait for this correction to continue consolidate, and if we can have that first break out of this correction and first continuation, I think that would be a very profitable or a very good probability buy, at least to see what the top is and go from there. So that is what I see on gold. Okay, I just see that it's been dropping a bit in this latest bit of the price, which is why giving me a potential bullish bias from this point. But like I said, we want to wait for this correction to finish, and then we want to see bullish price action to happen. That's going to help us to be able to capitalize trades like these. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you, Macca. So that is what I see on gold. Let's continue to other things. Let's take a look at silver because silver, it's kind of the same structure. Remember, we talk about if this pushed down from the top and then there was a continuation correction, we're likely to see further continuation. And the difference between here and gold is already at this area now where a potential reversal could or should form, whereas silver is looking like it could still go low from here and then reverse from this point forward, which is what I always kind of be looking at from a higher time frame perspective. We talk about my higher time frame is certainly long-term bullish. When I see this consolidation, when I see this bullish push up, is naturally for the price to correct a little bit longer before the continuation. So we're seeing here on silver, like it's about halfway through this period, halfway through this larger correction. I don't see as much validation for the sell here, even though it's likely to form a correction. Though my approach is still looking for a potential buy if this goes all the way down to the lows here, and then again reversal structure on the lower time frame, and then bullish momentum to push the price up. That is my approach. I'm not interested in the short-term sell. I do see that's going to. It's not enough risk reward in my opinion, and um, I don't like to take these when my higher time frame bias is a bullish buy, right? And that's why when I talk about multi-time frame analysis, if my higher time frame bias doesn't match with lower time frame, I tend not to look for entry or jump into a trade unless. Nice to see you, Ina. Nice to see you. Good job. So that is silver. So like I said, let's kind of wait for what will happen in this latest bid. I prefer the price to push down here, and I'll be looking for a long-term buy to continue the price higher. It's pretty given to me when I see price moves like this. My price could not broke lower than this point, which is low as it has been, double bottom, triple bottom, and then massive bullish push to the upside, and looking like it's going to be continuing. So that's silver. Let's take a look at oil. Some of you guys asking me about oil, and this is kind of still my approach and still the same. We're pretty much breaking this previous high now, previous kind of a double top area before the price drop. You can see this double top area is quite significant. This is where price pretty much made that massive bearish move to the downside. And that's why I was kind of looking at this point to see if we're going to get any reversals, price action on the lower time frame. So when we go down to the lower time frame here, we see that double top or potential double top, right? And then how the price is moving up, it's moving up pretty impulsively, if you can see. If I just zoom in here a little bit, I was looking for a potential structure to develop here, right? Some sort of ascending channel. It was looking like it was going to do that. A break above, but breaking above doesn't mean it's going to continue, right? We want to see if that's the bullish move, but we've been seeing a lot of the dollars and the yen pairs where we see a false breakout on a kind of an important kind of double top area, and then price pretty much had a sharp reverse back down and then continuation to the downside. So that can certainly happen here. And that's why we don't jump into these, right? When people often, when the price breaks maybe their resistance level or whatever, and then they start jumping in, and then they just didn't know that price made a false breakout and then just reversal impulse down and continue downwards. We've seen that over and over again in the market. Don't see if you're looking for a buy, you want the price to break further and then continuation to go. If that doesn't happen, then expect that kind of scenario to happen and we see the reversal. So I would wait for maybe a few more days of development here if that's going to happen, and if they're going to give me that bearish opportunity, then I might look for a sell on this. Not really looking for a buy because the buy has already happened, right? If you're looking for the buy, in my opinion, it should be impulse correction and the next impulse up. That's what you're trying to catch. But this is already impulsive trades on higher time frame. It's just not likely to continue in this kind of fashion, which is what it has been. You notice after a period of a bullish impulsive trades, naturally price needs to correct, right? Correction here, and then it resume the next bullish trades. So it's not likely to just keep understand how price move. We need to see correction, whether big or small, to continue a price if that's going to. It's the same idea we've seen across, right? When you see a massive bearish push down, it's usually followed by a period consolidation or period correction before the next down move, and then at a reversal impulse, correction impulse. It's just not likely to continue up in a straight line, which we have not seen for a while, right? After a impulsive phase, we need to see correction phase in order to see further up move on the price. Okay, so that is my point on oil. I just want to see what will happen here in this latest bid, and then see the price to develop in this last bit of area. So that is US oil. I don't think any questions on these on commodities. I just have a few on here. Not too much shaping up at least. And that's about it. Okay, so why don't we jump to currency now? Let's jump to currency and take a look what's going on in the currency market. So, all right, so let's look at the dollar index now. So because I do want to talk about the dollar for a bit. Based on what I'm seeing, right? Based on what we have been seeing in this last, few days or last week or so, is this giving us a better kind of bullish on the dollar? Well, the difference between what we're seeing here versus what we're seeing here, which is, if I recall, the previous bullish kind of point where we were looking at to buy. I have someone in my Telegram group point this out, and I thought it's very valid for him to point out. Originally, we're looking at the structure like this, right? So forget about all this previous path, all this price action. If we're looking at what the price has been in this part, pretty similar to what we're seeing now. Well, I'll show you guys in a second, but the point here is this, when he drew out this, he was this, and this may not break above the high and then continue down lower in our current price, and he has very good point on it, right? It's pretty similar structure we have seen in the past. We see a consolidation phase, we push up and we see a correction, and then we're looking for the next move up on the dollar. But that did not happen, right? If we see that we play out there and then price continue to drop lower and lower after. So in my opinion, the difference here though, the difference between what we have seen here, and the dollar did not break out, and then we start going into a bearish move, versus what we have here, is that we have a really strong push up above the previous high, right? You see this structure here, it's very similar like this. You see this push up, it's very similar like this push up. You see this correction here, it's very similar like this correction. However, this move just did not break above this previous. Turns out into more of a bearish movement to continue down to the downside. Whereas what we're seeing here in this latest bit of the price, we're breaking above this previous high. We're breaking above it, in my opinion, pretty impulsively. So naturally, I would be looking for some sort of continuation to continue this bullish run. That's why it's a little bit different for me when I was looking at this versus what I'm seeing here. But it was a very good point. I was looking at that in my Telegram. I think that was a very valid point at the time before we had this impulsive breakout, right? Before we have this move pushing upside. I think it was around this area where he pointed that out, and I think that's very valid because this move had the same push up but failed to continue higher. But this move, at least we are seeing we're breaking above the high. So what all this means? Well, for my personal opinion, I'm seeing dollar potentially reverse from this. We're breaking above all this high. It's different from the structure that we have seen. Can we get more continuation? Can we get further upside continuation for the lower time frame? It's pretty key here now is to wait for some sort of continuation correction, whether it's a channel, flag, triangle, whatever it's going to form. It's going to give me a better confluence to look for a buy now that we're breaking above the high. So we'll talk about a few dollar pairs and then we'll go from there. Yes, those of you join me, yeah, I'll go over CAD Swiss, I'll go over NASDAQ and gold. Gold I actually just went over, my friend, you just missed it. And let's see what else you guys are saying. Isn't DXY strictly fundamental? I mean, everyone trades differently, my friend. So maybe some people see it fundamentally, some people see it technical, right? There's nothing wrong with either. It's all about your plan. It's all about your trading plan, right? How you take entries. No one is right or no one is wrong when it comes to trading. Some people focus on fundamental, some people focus on technical, right? So it doesn't really matter who's right or who's wrong. It's about, do you have a plan? Do you have a management plan? Do you have good strategy or style to execute these trades and keep your risk small, right? Aussie, Swiss, I'll go over that as well. So let's continue to a few dollars. So a few dollars, let's look at Aussie dollar, for example. Aussie dollar is looking great. Let's look at the higher time frame. Pretty much we haven't approached this previous potential top, but it's all about how the price gets there, as I always say. So on the lower time frame, what we see here is that kind of a rising wedge structure. We have this to continue higher. Instead is a reversal sharp impulse followed by this continuation. So what we're seeing here is a very clean continuation correction. It's an impulse, correction, impulse. So actually looking for further continuation would be very ideal to push down the price. That's kind of how I see with the current price, with the current kind of impulse to a downside. Could be something here moving forward. Looking for further continuation would be very nice. Look for this low as a first target, but ultimately is the beginning of this higher time frame structure that we have seen, right? This was the previous sell that we were looking at. But price just did not continue lower. Instead, we just pushed the price up, all in this corrective structure. But again, we're at the top of the overall price now. We have very strong impulse, correction, impulse kind of price action, down action to push the price down. So that's Aussie dollar. I think Kiwi dollar is pretty similar, if not better. If we look at Kiwi dollar's price action, higher time frame, potentially looking at this as a very clean double top on the higher time frame, and this is where price actually had the first impulse. Well, so pretty significant area to look out for. And if we look at the lower time frame, this is a double top area that I would just point out. We move up the price correctively in this ascending channel, and strong bullish push up, breaking above, right? Breaking above that double top area, but a false breakout in my opinion. We had a reversal impulse down and pretty clear looking for continuation to this downside move, right? So a correction here that was formed, that's great. We push out now. So pretty similar idea and approach like on is to here to push the price lower. I really don't see much bullish kind of price action when I see this ascending channel is broken with this reversal impulse. Remember I talked about in my newest educational video, I mentioned about when I see an impulse move, I do not see to correct, either to go higher, like a continuation or a reversal. Instead, we just see a reversal impulse, right? So usually an impulse doesn't follow by another impulse. So that shows that the bearish market, the bearish momentum is so high. We just have a reversal impulse followed by continuation correction. We're pushing out of this ascending channel and pretty much forming that double top area to push down price lower. The Kiwi, I'll go over. Yeah, all the indices, guys, I'll go over after. I'm gonna go over in. I'll finish all the currency first, and I'll jump into those ones. So bear with me. But if you don't have time to watch it, make sure to watch it on my YouTube or TradingView because all my streams are uploaded there. But I will go over all these ones that are mentioned in the chat. If I don't get to it before you leave, I'll get to it later. Okay. So euro dollar is also something we were looking at, right? We see this as a ascending channel from the top of this kind of a wedge structure that we point out, similar like Aussie dollar. We have this impulse, correction impulse, and then a larger continuation. So looking for sell setups, right? Looking for sell here. I think there's nothing wrong with that when we see an impulse, correction impulse. So we're breaking above this low now. It'll be good to look for further correction, further continuation down to the next low. To me, when I see this kind of a strong push down from the price, gives me that more dollar strength bias to continue the bearish move for the downside. So look for price to continue at least to this next low. This is kind of the beginning of this this correction here before the up move. So I would look for a potential target here if you're looking for a sell. I think the sell was here though, if any of those guys get in, but I still see the sell potential even though if, we just broke this previous low, so we might just be in the next bearish run. So another correction down. I think there is potential. Yeah, I'm gonna go over like in order, guys. So make sure I finish currency. I'll jump into other ones and then go from there. Okay, guys. So crypto, I'm gonna leave till the end. So pound dollar, I think pound dollar is also looking great. Looking for this is probably one of the better ones to look out for because the longer and the deeper a correction structure correction phrase goes, the stronger the next impulse will happen. All right. So we look at here at pound dollar. Talk about that. This is a good area to watch out for. Whatever the price does here, we're looking for the next bearish move down, right? We're looking for a strong impulse down, which is we push up and then a strong impulse down, and then looking like there's a continuation correction. I would say we should wait for the price to break out this higher time frame structure and then look for another correction to go because we're just still in the middle of this deeper correction, but it's looking very clean that we're just going to have an impulse correction and impulse all of this high time frame structure. Look for further lower time frame continuation to push the price down. If we get this continuation here, I certainly expect price to eventually reach all the way to the lows. So making this impulse after this correction finished, very logical to look for these. We see these happen over and over again in the price, over and over again in the market. So I would suggest if you're not in the trade yet, I wouldn't jump into somewhere here because we're so low, we're getting too low with this correction. We might just see price move to the downside and then move up again. We don't want to get trapped in that, right? So the best is to, like I said, let this correction to push the price lower if that's going to, and then wait for the next breakout and then go from there. That is my approach on this. So dollar CAD I was also looking at it for a potential bullish move on the price. If we look at the higher time frame, I like how we are at this like potential double bottom area. The price is reacting, and again, lower time frame is giving me this descending kind of structure, descending channel. We see the price pushing down to the lows, and again, a reversal impulse. So what I want to see here is some sort of completion of this correction because it doesn't look like this was the correction to go, but we could still get price to push down one more time before the up move. So I want to see what will happen in this area if we're going to get reversal price action if we move all the way down to the lows here and then potentially looking for a bullish push off on the price and continue upwards. Okay, recall I took a trade last week here to take a break even. Just getting a bigger correction here before the upside and preferably looking for continuation after we broke out of this larger descending channel. Bear on candle table. Well, at least this is what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing it from a price action point of view. We have this ascending channel pushing the price up, and we have that push down for the price, right? Pretty strong impulsive move followed by correction. So I do like what I'm seeing here. If a sell position down here, if we get a correction here. So that's kind of my take on it. Let's look at a few other ones. Dollar yen. Dollar yen. Someone asked me to do the dollar yen position, but it's looking very promising. We see price has already pushed up from this bottom here. This is very clean. It just didn't have we didn't hold the position long enough, but this price along here pretty much significant shows that on the higher time frame, we might be getting a potential completion of this higher time frame structure. This is an impulse. This is a larger correction. We're looking for the next impulse. So if we look at the lower time frame, there was a pretty good buy setup here I personally took, but I just wasn't able to hold the position. This kind of correction impulsively. We broke this previous high, which is all good. So let's see if we can continue the price up above this higher time frame structure and continue, right? This is what we want to see after a strong reversal structure, strong impulsive move, looking for continuation would be very nice. Euro Aussie, yeah, I'll go over that after. So let's look at a few Aussie pairs now. Let's look at a few Aussie pairs, kind of what I'm looking at for the week ahead. Aussie CAD, very similar like Aussie dollar, right? Very similar like Aussie pairs in general. I do see potential bearish on them across the board. So if this is a kind of the double top area that we were looking at, and lower time frame, again, similar like Aussie dollar moving up in some sort of a wedge, right? And it's what we're seeing across some of these Aussie and dollar pairs. We have an impulse up. We just broke the previous high and then kind of formed a reversal correction, and then we have a reversal impulse pushing down. Right, I was originally looking at this as a buy, and then end up taking a loss here. And price pretty much had a bearish push down, so a bearish impulse down, followed by continuation, and looking like it's going down further. We're just reaching this previous low here, so I wouldn't just jump in here. I'd probably wait for a deeper correction here, similar like something like this to confirm that continuation of the bearish price, and take it from there to see if we can reach to the next low or the beginning of this kind of a wedge correction. Let's move on to Aussie Swiss. So you guys, someone asked me about Aussie Swiss. Not as clean as a couple Aussie pairs that I'm looking at. I was looking at this as a potential top, and price hasn't reached to the top yet. And we had this bearish move down. Though I was looking at this bearish move down, and I was looking at we get some sort of correction here to confirm this bearish move. But instead, we have this bullish push up for the price, and looking like it was going to continue further. Right, we have an impulse correction impulse correction impulse, but pretty much following it behind with a bearish impulse here. So it's a little bit erratic price action in my opinion. Pretty much I was going to hold off on this until I see a little bit more development here. I didn't like how we have a quick impulse down and a reversal impulse, and then really this period of price here at least. So I want to wait for a little bit more development here before I, potentially look for a bias, potentially look for a sell bias. That's still my bias here, but there's really no structure or price action here. So I prefer to be on the sideline for something like this. So moving on to Aussie Kiwi. So Aussie Kiwi, this is also one I really don't like to trade for now. I talked about this maybe last week's stream. When I see these sharp impulse followed by reversal impulse, followed by reversal impulse, followed by reversal impulse, there is no structure here. What I mean is, when we look for price action, we look for price is we want to see an impulsive move, we want to see a continuation correction, and we look for the next impulsive move. When we see another continuation correction, we look for the next impulsive move, right? This is what we look for technical setups when we're looking for good probability setups. But when we don't see that happening here, when we just see impulse, 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 naturally it's giving you an idea currency are together strong or both currency are together slow. As we see across the Aussie pairs and Kiwi pairs, we know that they tend to move pretty closely, right? So to see that is not too surprised. To see all this price action here, to me, there's really no bias for me personally. I don't want to speculate to guess a long or short because I really don't see it. I'd rather wait for further development here. There's really not much going on here except just price moving sideways or consolidation. There's no really not. I remember when I got into at the time when I got into this trade here, after we finish a reversal structure, we want to be in the next impulsive phase. But all this is not showing me a clear direction. Okay, so that's why I'm holding off on this for now. Against Swiss, I'll wait a little bit longer. Yeah, Igor, this is kind of what I say. I really don't like this price action. There's really no structures or corrections like how we have seen in the past, right? This is pretty clear correction and structures, right? We're moving down in a downtrend, we follow by continuation, continuation, things like that, right? Oh yeah, sorry, did I miss dollar ZAR? I could go over dollar ZAR. So personally, I'm looking at this as a potential double bottom, right? Price is pretty much reacting to this double bottom area. It's too early to say this is going to be the next bullish run, but to break this higher. If you notice previous price action, impulse correction, and then we kind of just impulse down, right? So before price can break above this high and then continue with lower time frame correction, it's too early for anyone to kind of jump in on this because same thing here can just happen here. Price can just push to the upside and then reverse back to the downside, right? So it's too early to tell in my opinion. I do prefer price to break above and then continue. I think that's going to be the logical play to complete this reversal structure. So this impulse move down followed by reversal structure and we're just pushing up the price. That certainly can happen. But also keep in mind that if this doesn't break above with continuation, same thing here, it's just a smaller scale of it, right? We push down, price pushes up, and then no continuation, it's just a reversal move down from the top from here. All right, so that's what I see on dollar ZAR. Do I use indicators? I don't use indicators. Personally, I don't. I don't use any support resistance or anything like that. I pretty much just look at the overall price action structures and patterns, right? That's all I do. I don't really look at any indicators. Nothing wrong with them if you trade those or other people trade them. It's just this is how I look at the market in general. So Aussie yen. Let's talk about Aussie yen. I do think Aussie yen, Kiwi yen could be on the watch list. So what I want to see here is on the higher time frame here. This is the previous kind of top. Price is somewhat reacting to this area because I mentioned about this kind of in this ascending channel. We try to push up and then followed by pretty much a reversal impulse. And actually, I will be looking for a reversal impulse here. Um, Reversal kind of structure to push the price down. So if we see what is going on here, this latest bit of the price, well, we have a correction, we have an impulse down. I was looking at this as a correction here to push down lower, but we're not really getting a correction here. It looks like it's a little bit messy, right? All these in this last, less than an hour or so, it doesn't phase me. Just a market open, guys, right? So wait for the spread, wait for things to calm down a little bit, see what the structure will make here after next couple hours, right? We could be making a structure like this. So impulse, correction, impulse, and then just a larger expanding structure, and we continue to push the price. See a potential on this because I like how we just had this false breakout. I think this is what's the key here is if this move was going to continue, we're likely to get continuation, but we didn't get that, right? We pretty much have a sharp move to the downside and follow like looking like a bigger channel or bigger flag correction to potentially look for pushing the price down lower. So I would just be a little bit more patient, guys, right? Patient, waiting for a little bit more development. If this is no longer going to be a downside move, it's going to show us, right? Going to side and then more lower time frame correction, and that's going to be a time to look at it differently, right? Because that's what we do. We understand we are price action traders. We don't need to be right every single time, right? Let the market come to you. Let the market show us that if there's going to be a bullish move, let it break above this previous high. Let this channel or channel structure to be invalid, and then wait for continuation to go higher. But if that doesn't happen, the bearish move is still pretty valid, right? Because we had a false breakout, we had a double top on the higher time frame, impulse down followed by correction, followed by continuation correction. Potentially we can push lower. Okay, so that is my view on Aussie yen. We can go over Kiwi yen. How to enter patterns, humanity. I have a bunch of videos on YouTube if you're interested. If you go on my playlist, if you go on my playlist, ways of do how I enter and things like that, you can take a look here. Pretty much all my video is on here if you're looking for entries. Risk management entries is where I talk about how to set entries and how to set stop loss and things like that. Welcome to take a look at these. My stream should be still live. I'm pretty sure everyone's still live, right? The stream is live. Good. So let's look at Kiwi yen because Kiwi yen is pretty similar like Aussie yen. So I'll go this rather quickly. But pretty much this is a potential double top area that price is looking at. And if we look closely, it's the same kind of structure, right? We had false breakout pushing up, reversal impulse down. So if there's a continuation correction here, this is pretty much what I always look for in the market. An impulse down followed by clear continuation correction. That's going to give you that validity that this price is going to go down lower. The key here is understanding what the price is doing, right? We have a really strong bullish price action to push the price up, but there is not even a reversal structure here to push the price down. It's instead a reversal impulse. Right? I talk about this in my video is that the momentum is so strong that we just had a quick impulse followed by correction instead of a reversal structure at the top and then push down. So the bullish momentum is not even there anymore when the bearish momentum just took over. So this is how the market tends to catch a lot of impatient traders. If they trade some sort of support resistance, they usually but this is what the market does, right? It punishes people to be impatient here. If they're looking for the buy, they get in on the buy here, and then it just quickly reverse and take them out, right? So always have a plan, always have a management when you're looking for entries. This is what I always tell my followers. Look for continuation here, what's going to give you a better sell setup to push the low. Right? This correction is all the key here now to prove that this impulse move is going to follow by the next impulsive phrase. Okay, so that is Kiwi Yen. So moving on to Euro Aussie. Some of you guys are looking at Euro Aussie, very similar like Euro Kiwi. So I'll go over them pretty clean. Let me show you on the higher time frame. So on the higher time frame, what I see again is looking at this bottom, right? This is where the price is pretty much reacting to. And if you look closely, we just pretty much moved down in the corrective direction. This is not impulsive as what we have seen, right? It's not an impulsive move that how the market usually moves, but it's very corrective. And lower time frame, if we look closely here, what I like about the price is still that when we had a sharp move to the downside, no continuation or reversal structure. Instead, it's a bullish push up. And all this price action, is this going to form a correction like this? Or is this going to be a push down followed by a correction like this to go further? To me, it's very hard to tell at this moment, so I try not to speculate. Action is still there. Even if this price formed this correction to push the price lower, if it formed double bottom here, we're still in this higher time frame structure, higher time frame descending channel. So impulse followed by correction is going to still validate this overall. It's just that we have to understand, this is why we do forecasting. When we do backtesting forecasting, we forecast a potential plan, potential price to move. And if it doesn't happen the way we want to see, no entries, right? No trade for us. We just be on the sideline waiting for more development. So my approach is still bullish, of course, is to wait for whatever is going to happen here in terms of correction to finish. If it breaks above this higher time frame structure, higher time frame descending channel, correction here would be very simple buy to. But if we don't get that, if we just get this bearish kind of price action and we just push down lower, then look for some potential reversal from this point, and then look for the next buy setup from here. Okay, so that is Euro Aussie. So let's look at Euro CAD. Sorry, that's you at Euro CAD here. I like this overall structure here. We just focus on the latest price, right? We don't look at the previous, all this that's not really relevant to what we're looking at on a higher time frame in this area. So if we look closely here, this is a strong bullish push up naturally, right? This is a clear bullish push from this type of a descending correction that the price pushed the price. And it start going into this deeper kind of consolidation. Originally had this kind of scoop formation, and then this is where a double top happened. I was looking for a sell setup, right? Impulse correction, impulse. And I was looking for further downside, looking like it was going to go down lower, but instead it just consolidated a bit longer and started forming this kind of a channel, kind of a flag, kind of correction, and then this latest bit of the price is also a descending channel. So when I see these structures within structures within structures, logically you're going to have multi-time frame analysis going to be on your favor, going to be on your side because you understand that this needs to correct, and we're right back at the potential bottom of this previous structure. Looking for a reversal is very clean, and you see all these latest bit of the prices also giving you that bullish reversal kind of price action. So my approach is wait for what price will do here, right? We don't just blindly enter a buy here with no confirmation. We want to wait for a price to develop something here, some sort of correction here, some sort of reversal correction, preferably some sort of descending channel. Maybe you can see a double bottom, or you see some inverse head and shoulder pattern. Whatever it is, we want to see reversal price action on the lower time frame, and then look for a first push out followed by continuation correction to go. Because what you see on the lower time frame is going to validate what you see on the, also showing you all these bullish reversal price action to push the price. And just like what we have seen in the past, right? This is why we backtest the price. We get familiar with price action. When you see these similar price action happen, and when you see the next bullish move is going to result after a longer period correction finish, we naturally will look for that next impulsive phrase. We know the market move only in two phrases, right? Correction phrase, impulsive phrase. And longer period correction phrase, this is the deepest correction, and looking for the next impulsive phrase. So impulse, correction, impulse. Right, very similar than every single market we have been looking for. And every time when it's at this kind of a key area, I will be looking for potential buy opportunity for this up move. So that's EuroCap. Pound yen. Yeah, I didn't look at pound yen. Sorry. Let's look at pound yen really quick. Pound yen is now on my watch list. This is also kind of looking at what the price will do this top, right? When I talk about this top for a while, there's really nothing happening here yet to give me a confluence to look for a sell. Price continued to move kind of in a sideways formation. Originally, I was looking at something like this to look for a potential reversal. We did have that price push up, had an impulse down, but then start forming this consolidation again. So not really seeing much here in this latest bit of area. I prefer to wait for a little bit more tangible. Something like this is going to give me a better sell setup than potentially looking for something like this. I really don't see the buy as well because we have already pushed up pretty massively from this point forward. Um, without a continuation correction, it's not the price to just keep shooting up. And that's why when we reach this kind of key area now, going to the lower time frame, going to lower time frame to look for further development on the price is crucial, right? We don't just, again, I always say, don't blindly enter a buy or blindly enter a sell without confirmation from the higher time frame and the lower time frame. So higher time frame, not much is going on except price is at this top, but that is about it, right? We don't have any lower time frame correction to give us a confluence yet. Okay, so Euro Kiwi. Let's talk about Euro Kiwi. So Euro Kiwi very similar like Euro Aussie because there's that double bottom area that we're looking at. And it's not, I always talk about, people ask me, oh, are you just going to buy or sell every double top or bottom you see? No, not at all, right? We talk about multi-time frame analysis. Higher time frame looking like we can have a double bottom, but it's about how the price gets there. What is the lower time frame doing? So if you look closely at what the structure here, at least it's giving us a corrective price action. It's not an impulsive, like a straight drop down. Like people think this could be a double bottom. Well, this is a very sharp move to the downside, so there's no reversal yet. But whereas price approach this previous low very correctively, so that's giving us some confluence for a potential reversal. And if we look at the latest price here, similar like mini dollar pair and your Aussie pair that I mentioned is I like how we had a sharp move to the downside and it's meet with a reversal impulse, and potentially there is a continuation correction here. Um, whether this correction completes now or completes forms a deeper consolidation, I still like the potential buy as long as we complete this descending channel. If we look closely here, we want to wait for a clear breakout. These false breakout, what we can see here on the lower time frame, is not justifiable to the buyer. This is why we don't get trapped in here. We want to see a confirmed breakout followed by confirmed correction. That's how price moves. So if it doesn't give you that correction, it doesn't give you that confluence, there's no buy here. Dropping down doesn't phase me. It's waiting to see what this latest area will do, right? This means that this correction may not be over for this move up. We could still see a deeper consolidation, but eventually pushes the price up. So be patient here, right? We don't want to jump into these, especially price has already a lower time frame push down. We're not just going to start buying here for no reason. But ultimately, higher time frame wise, impulse correction impulse, and naturally we're supposed to continue further with the impulsive move like this, but instead it is more corrective in my eye, corrective price action looking for a potential reversal. So let's move on to CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss, I want to talk about CAD Swiss. Personally, I'm not really seeing much. I see the strong impulsive move to the upside. Certainly, that is a bullish kind of outlook, but I don't see much of a further buy until the price will high, because we're getting very very close to this high now. I really wouldn't just jump into these buys because it already moved pretty high up, right? Already moved pretty impulsively. So actually, I will wait for a price to break above and then continue. That's going to be your buy potential. But if the price move up very correctively in this last bit of the price, if it starts forming structure like this, then look for the reversal, right? Because this is a sign from the market telling you that the bullish movement is getting exhausted. We're approaching to this higher time frame double top. It's giving you that potential reversal for the price to go lower. Okay, so that's what I see on CAD Swiss. It's really not my watches because I'm not seeing much here, except that the lower time frame just had a very strong push up, but no buy entry, right? We're not going to buy here if buy from the bottom, so I don't see buying here will be valid. So let's look at a few more. Kiwi Cat, I think Kiwi Cat is looking great. Let's talk about Kiwi Cat. If you guys recall, I was trying to sell this several times, sell it from here, sell it from here. But this third time is looking very clean. It's even better, in my opinion, because this move down is actually breaking above this previous high. So we had a false breakout in the market. And if we look closely here, this false breakout is met by a reversal impulse and then pretty much a continuation correction. We break all of this higher time frame structure now. So naturally look for another correction here. We're getting to the lows of here, so be careful. I wouldn't just jump into a short like here because this can just start reversing back up. So to confirm the bearish move, wait for a continuation and wait for the next sell. Okay, preferably something that is going to be at least somewhat on a 1 hour chart, something that's a little bit significant because we already dropped quite a bit out of this structure, right? We had a very sharp impulse. Naturally, we need to see a correction before the next down move. Kiwi Cat, last one I touched about is Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss, let's take a look. So Kiwi Swiss on the higher time frame, I'm looking at this as that double top area, double top that the price is reacting to. And if we look closely, it's similar across, right? We had a false breakout in my opinion, and then a reversal impulse down, followed by kind of a flag kind of channel correction, and then a strong impulse down. And this is where I was telling people to look for a sell here. And if you get in a sell, if it pushes down, you should already set it to break even, right? Because that is how we take these kind of entries is you have a sharp move down, but if it's met by a reversal push up, then make sure you adjust your stop loss so you don't lose more than break even. What I see now here is we can still form a head and shoulder. This is kind of still what I see on the price. This push up doesn't phase me. We still have a. This can just be forming a deeper correction like this, and then still go to downside after, right? So this is what we trade based on confirmation, right? we had a confirmation to sell here, but you would actually set it to break even once we break the low, and looking to see if the price, if this is going to be the move continue, or we might just get a deeper correction, and we're still looking for a sell once this correction finish. Enjoying the art of price action. Good, good. Nice to hear that, right? This is how we trade, or at least how we look at the market. It's a lot cleaner, to be honest. I don't need to worry too much about other things on the charts. Of course, everyone trades differently. There's no right or wrong, right? But I just don't like how we things like that. We don't need it, to be honest. We're looking solely at what the price is doing, right? Because this is much cleaner and clear, in my opinion, to look for how the price move. Okay, so that is all the currencies. Any question on these? Any question on the currency pairs before I jump into the other markets? Trying to scroll up to see if I missed anything. Went over most of the currency one that you guys are saying. So ZAR, yeah, cable, Euro, Aussie. Yeah, that is about it. Okay, so if no question, guys, I'm gonna move on to the indices. I'm gonna move on to the indices. Some of you guys asked about S&P, Nasdaq. We'll go over those. Can you watch the stream later? Yeah, of course you can watch the stream later. The streams are always uploaded to my training view. If you go on my profile, training streams for longest time. And in my YouTube, this is where I upload all my streams. If you go video, you can go playlists. I divide them into the weekly outlook streams. So weekly outlook stream, which is the one today we're doing, and we do the daily outlook as well, which I do New York and London usually. So they're all uploaded here. So if you're interested, you can watch them later. This is why I mentioned if I didn't get to your questions or comment, I'll get to it, and then you can rewatch it later on. So I'll answer whatever you ask. Okay. So let's go to indices. Let's start with Nasdaq first. I think this is a crucial one. Edan, which one are you talking about? Like which pair or which market are you talking about? Riding with the trend past couple weeks? What do I think about Mexican? Yeah, I can talk about dollar peso real quick here. I do see dollar peso being, to me, is pretty clear that if we zoom out here, this is a reversal correction. Okay, so we have reversal correction, we have an impulse, we have a correction, we're breaking out of this correction now, and price is pretty much moving up. This is kind of what I was looking at, is to look for further opportunities once price form correction here, and then we're pushing up now. So expect more correction to form and continue. I think that's pretty clear to see for the price. We might be getting that reversal now. We see these kind of price action a lot, right? Descending channel as well here. We're pushing up now. So let's see if we're going to continue the bullish push up and break this previous high and then fall on getting into a bullish move. I really like these kind of structures. Price has been consolidating here for quite some time now. Very similar. We've been in a bearish move, but this latest correction, latest structure giving us otherwise. It's showing us that a potential bullish reversal could be happening. And getting into this would be nice. I think this could be the turning point if the dollar peso, or if the dollar is going to start reversing. We might be getting the next push up for the dollar, for dollar peso especially. Okay. So let's go indices. Let's or some of you guys got in on NASDAQ all the way from the top and was still holding it. So very good job from you. Talk about this sell setup once I see this ascending channel completing with an impulse correction and we push down. This latest bit of the price is a little bit swingy, I would say. Try to think there's at least a swingy correction here, but we're pushing down now, which is great. We're breaking this previous low. What's going to happen here? Well, what's going to happen here is going to be a key area to look out for, because if this is a larger correction to correct this push down for the price, we're naturally going to get down further. So if this is going to form a deeper correction, then we're still going to the downside, okay? We're not moving down as impulsively as what we have seen coronavirus from here. We have seen this sharp move from coronavirus. That's pretty sharp. We're not getting as sharp, but we're still in that bearish impulse. It's exactly the same price action over and again. Right? This is why I bring those backtesting videos on indices. You just have to backtest to get comfortable at identifying what the market is doing, right? Forget about, because coronavirus happened. Well, the structure was already building up like this before the coronavirus crash. So the market is already telling you that we're going to get that next bearish reversal for the price. Price continue to move up correctively, and then boom, sharp move to the downside, right? So same idea here as what we're seeing. This is that ascending channel that we're seeing, smaller ascending channel, and then a sharp bearish impulse down, followed by continuation and further a lower time frame correction here to push down lower. So that is what I see on NAS. I think it's looking very clean that if we see how the price has been moving, certainly expect the same as well, right? This is during 2018. See if I can find 2008. So 2008, same idea here, right? We're seeing this a larger ascending channel, and we push down. So that's the 2008 crash. And if we see the latest time, we see these the same thing over, right? All right, so S&P 500. Well, the only difference, this is why I went over NASDAQ first. NASDAQ structure that it was in, whereas S&P doesn't look like it is. So this same ascending channel so this same ascending channel is not breaking out, right? We have seen that in the past where price tried to break out the ascending channel, but no continuation to go lower. So are we getting the same thing here? Well, the correction here is similar like NASDAQ, but I don't like how this price is like pushing up, right? I recall there was some news here or something like that. We had a bearish push down and I was looking for continuation, but that is not happening thus far. So I think if this is an area where price is rejecting, so be careful, right? This can just push up to the top here and then potentially still drop down and making this correction still valid. This is still a ascending channel that's yet to complete. I would be a little bit more patient to wait for what the price will do here. If we talk about what we have seen in the past, we obviously see similar structure that has happened in the past where this is where coronavirus happened. We're getting similar structure. This is a little bit more expanding, but it is the same reversal kind of ascending structure we have seen in the past. So is this one ready or is it not? Well, we have to wait for confirmation, right? Remember I made that backtesting video. When the price, you just have to be able to spot them and then have a plan to execute them when it happens, right? So looking for correction like this would be nice, push up and then double top here and style pattern to continue lower and then more correction to go. Okay, so sorry, I'm losing my sound. So my approach is still looking for that bearish breakout from that ascending channel formation. So let's look at Dow Jones US 30. Um, this is probably the better structure in my opinion among the US indices. Um, liking this kind of ascending channel within the larger parallel channel. Very similar structure again, like what we have seen in the past. Okay, so is this going to break out? Well, it hasn't shown us. I had a position here, but it just didn't continue lower, and this is kind of pushing up the price now. Is this some sort of structure? It's hard to make a structure at this point, and I think the best, or at least the more safer side now that price is forming a little bit more erratic price, is either for the price to push to the top here and then still reverse back down, or just wait for this consolidation finish and push out the price before we get in. Okay, because as this correction continue to go, we're still in a lower time frame correction. Anything can happen. This can drag on a little bit forever as well. And I really don't want to get trapped here anymore. So I think the better way is to wait for this period to be over and then look for the next sell setup would be very nice. I think that's all it, guys. I'm not seeing much other indices that I'm looking at. Most of them is not where I want to be looking for a sell, but mostly is not really bullish on any of them, to be honest. I'm just looking at potential sell opportunity if they develop, and if they don't, then no entry for me, right? I'll move on to other things. But this is why we forecast the market. We have a plan to make emotional decisions if things come up. So any question, guys, on the indices before I move on to crypto last? I'm gonna wrap up with crypto, but these are the I was three US indices looking for a potential sell if it happens. So so new to crypto. I'm just gonna go over a few. I'm not seeing much on crypto at all, to be honest, and I don't really want to sell crypto either. Um, my approach on my approach on crypto is always going to be long-term hold, right? So I got all this Bitcoin position. I'm just going to close it really quick. I'll explain it to someone else. But what I'm seeing here is I'm really not seeing the buy right away. I know a lot of people are like, okay, the price dipped now, we should be buying. I really not favor the buy at this moment. Reversal impulse. This is what we talk about, right? You have an impulse up followed by a reversal impulse. There was no kind of deeper correction before the downside. Had a sharp impulse down, and then this is all consolidation phase to me. I'm really not seeing the buy at the moment yet. This can be a continuation correction for this move, and we're just going to go downside even further. But after going to downside, after forming a deeper correction and continuation, this is pretty much exactly what we have seen here. Remember when I bought here, I was holding through this correction, and I didn't want to hold through another deeper correction. The point here is, in my opinion, it might be too early to be buying. I want to see a little bit more development from the price here, right? And then look for the next upside if that's going to be for me that kind of price action. This is what Bitcoin has been doing is just a massive bullish push, but naturally price has to correct after it move up so much, right? This is how the price move. You can't just expect the price to go up in a straight line, right? It just doesn't make sense. So in this last little area, I look for um, a little bit more development, at least some sort of bigger structure like these. to confirm the next bullish push up. And that's why I'm not really interested in buying. I'm not gonna sell Bitcoin, or I'm not gonna sell any of the crypto really. I'm not really interested in selling them. But I do see a short-term bearish on them, but looking for further upside after a bigger correction completes. Okay, so that is a few other one that everyone's looking at. I'll talk about Ethereum really quick. So is Ethereum going to go up? Same idea here, right? I'm not seeing that yet. I see this sharp bearish move to the downside, and are we just going to continue push up right now, or are we going to form kind of a correction? Right, this correction maybe just extended into something like this. We don't know yet. Right, this lower time frame push up is valid, but I still want to see a little bit more development after this bearish impulse, right? Because if this is going to be some sort of reversal structure to push the price up, naturally we need to see a bigger correction before the next up move, right? We want to see bigger correction, bigger consolidation, and then pushing the price up. Moving on to Litecoin, similar. I'm just going over the major coins because I do see some of them being still a potential to continue the downside, right? So Litecoin, if we zoom out a little bit here, we broke that previous high, right? We broke the previous high, and then however, price continued to move up pretty in the corrected price action. Price move up in the more of a rising wedge ascending channel, and then we have a sharp bearish move down. Is this all a correction? To me, I'm still not too convinced. I still want to see more development in this, right? Doesn't show me that this is going to be like the one that's going to take off. It really doesn't. I prefer to see the price break this previous high and then continuation after, because we could just be forming a deeper structure. The strength doesn't matter, right? It's about how the price completes its current correction. We push down, we can just be forming a deeper correction. It moves up, even just breaking above this high and then still dropping afterwards, and you're getting trapped in a consolidation phase. So be a little bit more patient here. Price isn't going anywhere, right? If you're looking for buy, it's not going to just fly off without you, right? So wait for confirmation. It's going to save you unnecessary loss, right? I think crypto pairs you want me to take a look. I know a lot of you guys are on Cardano. I'll talk about Cardano. My Cardano trend ended at $1, but I was looking at this to see if this is going to be another continuation to go up higher, or is the lower time frame kind of telling you something different? So pushing down more of a bearish kind of price level on the lower time frame, but on the higher time frame, we can't forget that this massive bullish push to the upside is still very valid, right? This is a straight, very clean, very strong bullish price action for the price. We did break this all-time high, right? This is the all-time high level, and price early is going to continue higher. I definitely have a bullish bias on a continuation. It's just that this latest bit of the price may need to be a deeper correction, maybe a deeper consolidation. We could just keep move up, move down, move up, forming a bigger flag, bigger channel. So still want to wait to see what this last bit of the price doing. We have seen typically price is moving up in these kind of channel formation. As we kind of zoom out here, all these channel formation that the price is doing is clearly showing us the strong bullish move to the upside, and it's usually by these channel corrections that, at least for this pair or this currency or this crypto pair, that it's moving up in this kind of pattern, in this kind of formation. We have several buy opportunities on the bottom. So I would say the same thing here, but I would wait for this last bit of the area to finish, look for further upside. Okay, so any question here, guys? Any question on crypto? Yeah, so that is it for me, at least for the weekly outlook. But if you guys have any questions or anything else, I'm happy to answer. We went over commodities. Someone asked me about gold. I will talk about gold again. I think this is pretty decent to talk about. Remember, my higher time frame from gold is always bullish, right? Because we have been in this bullish kind of move from the bottom, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse, larger correction in the making. And on the lower time frame here, how the price moved to the bottom of the correction, right? How the price moved to the bottom of this flag, bottom of this channel. I like how we're getting there very correctively. This is the key. We move down in this kind of a falling wedge or descending channel. Very corrective. We're at the bottom of the structure now. So potentially we could be looking for a reversal. So what I would do is wait for price to break out, right? And this is breakout, doesn't mean anything. I want a strong breakout followed by strong continuation. And for a okay, so that's my approach on gold. But it can still, this false breakout doesn't matter. It can just push down more, and that's not going to be an entry for me because I know this correction could be correcting for a longer period of time. But eventually, once it finishes, once we see this breakout followed by lower time frame continuation, that's going to validate this descending channel is a reversal. It's also going to validate that we're at the bottom of this higher time frame structure, and we could be looking for that next bullish run to the upside. Doge, yeah, I missed about that. Good point. I'll talk about Doge really quick. Well, originally I was looking for a buy setup here after what I've seen in the past. Strong bullish push out breaking above previous high. I was looking for a continuation to happen and then a strong breakout followed by lower time frame to get in. But really not didn't happen. This just kind of goes on for a little longer period of time. But what is it telling us here? Well, if we look at what previous price action, if we look at how low the price has been gone, and that strong push to the upside followed by another impulse up, you know that I know because it's just not sustainable for a price that has been trading this much lower to have this much increase, right? It takes time for the price to correct itself before the next up move. So I don't see much buy anymore. I really see for the buy at this original area. It was looking clean, but as this consolidation goes on longer, the least I'm interested in it unless I see that next strong breakout followed by a correction. Right, this is what I want to see for a completion structure. This is similar, like I want to say Boeing. I think Boeing we had similar move. Um, yeah, something like this, when we have price break up and then just like a longer period consolidation, and then eventually price push to the upside followed by correction to go. But this deeper, longer correction can go on forever, and then before the next up move happens, right? So it's very similar like Doge in terms of price action. You have a push up, and you're just gonna have a longer period of consolidation. Okay, so that's what I see on them. Any other question, guys? Any other question from me? Or if you know, if you're free, if you're want to ask me a question in my Telegram, you can ask me in my Telegram as well. This is where I keep all my posting in here. So my Outlook, my stream is all in here. My educational videos, what I'm watching out for the day or for the week. All my content is in here. You can ask me questions or ask other questions. People are happy to help you. Okay, so YouTube TradingView. Uh, Again, all my analysis is here. So if you're interested, you can look it through here. So, and I think that's it. Unless you guys have any other questions, happy to end the stream here and looking forward for the week ahead. Okay. What are your favorite dollar pairs? I'm getting this message few more dollar pairs. Well, I'll go through most of these. Uh, we talk about pretty much most of the dollar I'm favoring for a bullish on the dollar. If we look at, I'll point out a couple dollar ones like Aussie dollar. We have this sharp reversal impulse, right? Followed by continuation. So this is pretty clean for further downside if we get continuation correction here to push lower. That's something I will be looking for. Kiwi dollar, very similar, right? Higher time frame had that higher time frame double top. Price form continuation here, breakdown. So look for another correction here to push the price lower. Euro dollar, same idea, same approach. Um, Seeing this continuation correction to correct this move, so naturally looking for further downside. There was a correct. Now that we break this previous low, if we get further correction here, it would be a valid sell here to the bottom here. Pound dollar, I think pound dollar is going to be the most potential. You can see that on the higher time frame, we have this kind of ascending channel formation. Price have this lower time frame ascending channel, push down, correction, looking to push down lower, right? And this is what always my plan is. If we get this correction here, we push down the price. If we follow by continuation, it's going to give you the best potential entry from here, moving down. And dollar CAD is also good. Dollar CAD is not as strong as a couple of the dollar pairs, but I like this descending channel on the higher time frame, and then smaller descending channel pushing the price down. Impulse correction, looking for the next break. Um, and then dollar peso. Someone asked me about dollar peso. Yeah, very clean kind of reversal correction pushing up. We can expect a further bullish push up from the price. So those are pretty much my favorite dollar pair. Dollar Singapore dollar. I didn't talk about this, but double bottom here on the price. We have this kind of a channel pushing down. Impulse out of this channel, followed by continuation correction, looking for further upside potential. That's about it for the dollar pairs, but all of them are looking pretty good. So obviously, I'm just going to pick one or two maximum to go through if they're going to give you that dollar strength. Pound Swiss, sorry if I missed that. Really not on my watch is pound Swiss after it pushed up pretty high up there. It's breaking above this previous high. Are we going to continue higher and higher like this? Not likely in my opinion. It's likely to form deeper correction before the next buy, or we're just going to see short-term bearish for a period of time. So I'm not interested in the buy or sell at the moment. I don't really see that yet. Lower time frame wise is not really showing me much. I'm not really seeing any structure here. I would prefer, like I mentioned, a bigger structure like this, and then push the price lower. I think that would be the best ideal to look for. What is the best time frame to get entry? There's no one time frame to enter. So multi-time frame analysis, meaning that on the higher time frame, I look for bias first. So let's say Kiwi as example, looking at this as a potential double top. This is the previous double top and M-style pattern before the market drop. So this is a pretty good area to look for the same kind of reversal bearish price action. So my higher time frame bias is the sell. And lower time frame, I'll go down to the lower time frame. Look for possible confirmation and entry, right? So we had a breakout, false breakdown, bearish impulse down, looking for continuation here. And now that price has breaking out of this reversal structure. Look for further continuation here would be nice. So it doesn't have to be any time frame specifically. Here I'm on the 2-hour, but it's going to be on this. It's going to be the same. Why we have different time frame is to look for confirmation and to confirm our bias. But really, any of these lower time frame, right? Look on the top left, 2-hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't matter because the entries will be the same that you're looking for, right? So. Okay, So that is what I see on Kiwi Cat, and best time frame to get entry. I think most we use lower time frame for any of the entries, right? So yeah, no worries. Any other question, guys? Any other question before I wrap up the stream? I've been talking about for almost an hour and a half. Went through all the markets and what I see the best. So I will wrap it up here, guys. But like I said, I do these streams. I do these streams 3 times a week. I will do one in the New York session on Tuesday, and I will do one on Thursday, the London session. This is what I do every week. I try to do a stream in each of the session and 3 times a week, so I can talk to different people and then interact with different people as well. So if you like these ideas, if you like these streams, make sure you just follow me. It's all my content on Telegram, on YouTube, and TradingView, which is all up here if you're interested. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for tuning to this week weekly outlook, and hope to chat with you guys next time. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much.